Hello YouTube and hello XR600R lovers. I'm here today to do an introduction on my next project. I'm gonna name this bike Nicky. It's the first bike I've ever named, and if you have the patience to sit through this, you'll see me fixing it up and why I'm naming it and different things I'm doing. So we're going to start off with some shots of what I have to work with and a little bit of history.
Nicky is a 1995 XR600R with street license, legal in California. So my friend bought this bike because he needed a donor motor to fix up his bike. And I switched motors for him and he gave me all the leftover pieces in this plated 95. But even though it might look good at a glance, this bike was trashed. At some point, somebody really loved it enough to plate the whole frame, kickstand, everything in nickel. Put rear foot pegs on it. But everything on this bike was trashed from the last couple owners. Cracked rims, bent rims, wood screws screwed in where nuts and bolts go. Speedometer didn't work. You know, they didn't know how to tighten nuts and bolts, so they would just lose them. They just weren't treating this bike well, so it's a good thing I got it. Let me give you a little bit of history. Too Many Rides history. In 1977, I bought a 1974 TR5 MX Avenger. This was my dirt bike for quite a few years. Back in those days, you could get away with packing up all your gear and going cross-country on an OHV. I used it in club competitions and had a lot of fun with it. In the year 2008, I made my TR5 MX street legal. And I was able to ride that up to the mountains and go to the places I love to go. But it really can't handle the bumps. In 1982, they had a sale going on at the Honda shop, and you could get a XR500R $2,000 out the door with tax and license. Of course, that's an OHV, and even back in 1982, I knew that you were going to need a street legal dirt bike. But I bought this anyway because it's a lot stronger than the XL was. And I rode that for 10 years, never did anything but change the oil and the chain. And it served me really well until I finally sold it, and it's still around today and it's never been repaired. So that's why I've got XRs, because for me they hold up really well. So because the 1982 worked out so well, I bought a 1992, specifically for disc brakes. And what we do is we go up to the high country with it. And that bike today is still running and has never been taken apart. It's never had a motor rebuild or anything. So come to 2008 and I'm able to ride around all the old places. You know, it's not like it used to be where you could go dirt riding anywhere. You have to have a street legal dirt bike. And that's what the Triumph was for. And it's great, you know, but it really can't handle the roughest roads. And I decided, since I already have an XR600R, why not just get another one and I'll have spare parts? Yeah, so I bought a 91 XR600R that was plated, but I found out it was all bent up. So at my age, I figured I'll be doing more dual sport and less OHV, and I'll just go ahead and swap the motors. I put the 1991 motor in the 1992, and I put the 1992 motor in the 1991. With a crappy motor in the 1992, I didn't really have a full OHV dirt bike, so I bought a 1996 XR600R, and everything was great. I had the old 92 as a backup. I had the 96 for any time I was going up to the high country, and I even got a parts bike, a 2000 with a blown motor. It had something go bad inside, and they weren't taking too good care of the air cleaners, so I'm not surprised. But it's a whole bike's worth of parts, and that was handy. I stripped everything down and I sold the frame off. And every once in a while we go camping, and we get into the really rough stuff. And I got the 2 OHVs and the dual sport, and that's great, you know. But it was kind of a monster when I got to single track and stuff. And since I had Nicky come along, I thought it was time to go ahead and make a purposeful dirt bike that's street legal. And I had to get started polishing up that 95. I'm gonna build a street legal dirt bike that's oriented for the trail, not dual sporting. And I'm gonna get rid of all those white parts. And I'm gonna have a frame that'll polish up easy, hopefully. Okay, yeah, you ought to watch for this. We're gonna have some videos fixing up Nicky.